Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And then the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
So by rule, the game is over.
The Lions Hangover.
Hey, what's shaking, everybody? It's Brad, and I'm back with another episode of The Lions Hangover. Don't forget, you can find me on all social media channels. You got the Instagrams, you got the Facebook, you got the Twitters. I'm usually pretty active on the Twitter, following people and all that jive and tweeting out polls and stuff and opinions. Not too many opinions, but, you know, I like giving the Bears fans a lot of grief, too. So don't be shy. Feel free to follow me on any one of those. Also, thank you for liking and subscribing to all of the audio channels, you know, because I'm there on the Spotify, I'm there on the Apple Podcasts. You know, your 5-star ratings really do help, and your subscribing and following definitely does help. This is the last audio-only episode for the season. I am going to take the rest of the summer off, but I will be back just before the start of the regular season with a very special video of my preseason predictions. So make sure you follow me on YouTube as well so you can follow along and see my beautiful face, not just hear my sexy and luscious voice. Do I sound good right now? It's because I got some good audio equipment, upgraded some mics for a different podcast that I do. That's called TV We Love Podcast. Feel free to check that out. Excuse me, but the cough has remained the same. So we are here today to talk about rule changes. The owners got together a couple times this year, and they decided on a few of the rule changes, and I am not a big fan of most of the rule changes, even though they don't affect me too directly, and I'm sure we will not see much of a difference during the playoff game, but there are some rule changes that I feel like we should go over. Plus, I have 2 rule change proposals of my own to give them. It's theirs. They can take it. I don't need credit. These are just 2 major rules that I feel like would change the game for the better, so I definitely want to see them do that. So stick around. Of course, and a lot of this is old news, and not too much of this has to do with the Lions, but this is just sort of the last episode of the 2022 season, if you will, and I'll be gearing up for the 2023 season. I know it's 2023, but that's just how I do it. That's how I. If Madden could call it Madden 24 and they're in August of 23, then I can still call this the 2022 season. So, you with me so far? Okay. So, of course, players are now allowed to wear the number 0 on their jersey. Man, is that a big deal? Do you like that? Number 0 on a jersey? I think it's kind of weird. Ultimately, I don't care, but it is weird to see somebody out there with the number 0. I believe Marvin Jones Jr. for the Lions will be wearing 0 this year. It's just weird. You can't retire nothing. You know, you can retire number 20, Barry Sanders, Billy Sims, and number 0. It's just weird to me. And of course, they also had the rule change that you can now carry a emergency third quarterback without using a game day roster spot for that QB. The league is also going to have flexible Thursday night football scheduling. I believe they have to have a month notice, but I don't think anybody likes this except the NFL and mostly Amazon Prime. I think these are the 2 biggest benefiters. Man, don't worry, I got some water with me, though. These guys are the 2 biggest benefiters of the Thursday night football flex. I understand where Amazon's coming from. They had lots of horrible football last year. I feel like the Lions games, every single one of the Lions games were more exciting than most of the primetime games last year. And I think that showed when it came time for us to finally get primetime when we closed the season out against the Packers in Green Bay. And I think we are a good watch, which that shows on this year's schedule. Because what do we got? Like 3 to 5 to 7. I'm not sure. Those last 2 games are still going to be flexed. And they're both home games, too. So hopefully they end up being some primetime games. Here I go. Here comes the water. One more big cough. Brace yourself. All right, here comes the water. There's some, what is it? AMR, the audio one, the people that just love hearing things. So, yep. Okay. Next rule change. They are changing the definition of a launch to leaving 1 or both feet. So it's no longer just a launch. If you leave 1 foot or 2 feet, that's going to be, leading with your head. That's going to be a personal foul. The competition committee also is going to make tripping a personal foul. So that's new for this season. Before it was just a penalty, but now it's a personal foul. And of course, we've got the receiving teams will now get the ball at their own 25-yard line following a fair catch on a kickoff. Not a big fan of that one either, and they claim that it's safety, but it's something like it was 1 out of every 125 kickoffs ended with a concussion or something like that. So, but that's of returnable kickoffs too. That's not of all the times that they've already called a fair catch or kicked it out of the end zone or anything like that. That was just returnable. So it's like it was something small, like 1% of all the plays, and there was something like 2,000 kickoffs last year, and it resulted in just a handful of concussions. Now, I mean, we want everybody to be safe, of course. We don't want anybody to get a concussion. We don't want anybody to get injured, but there is also a known risk that you take for playing football. It is just part of the game. And maybe that's sad, and maybe that's a barbaric way of thinking of things, but it's true. You're playing football. It is a man's game, You have to assume you're risking your body, not so much your life, but your body when you go out on the field every Thursday, sometimes Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night. It's you can't coddle everybody. This is why they get paid millions of dollars a year. They know the risk, and they decided the paycheck was worth the risk. So I don't know. I think just leave the kickoffs how they are. And what's going to happen? There was some talk about onside kicks. Like what's going to happen there? I think I'm just rambling. Maybe I should edit that part out. There also the penalty for illegal punts, drop kicks, or place kicks consistent with other illegal acts such as illegal forward passes. They want to prevent the offense from benefiting by extension of the half as a result of their foul. So if it is I believe they're saying if it's an offensive penalty, that the half can end, because usually you can't end the game or the half on a penalty, and that would result in a do-over. I believe that they are saying that you're no longer allowed the offense only. So the competition committee is also to clarify the use of the helmet against an opponent by removing the butt, ram, or spear language from Article 8, incorporating those actions into impermissible use of the helmet. Can you tell that I was just reading that verbatim? A lot of these are, just such minor rule changes. But the 25-yard line, fair catch, this is for 1 year only. It puts the ball in play at the receiving team's 25-yard line. If there is a fair catch on a free kick, a la kickoff and safety kick behind the receiving team's 25-yard line. It's just a 1-year trial, so that's good. The active inactives list, 1 hour and 30 minutes prior to kickoff, each club is required to establish its 45-player active list for the game by notifying the referee and the players on its inactive list for the game. Each club may also designate one emergency third quarterback from its 53-player inactive list, active-inactive list. So we already kind of talked about that. Okay, here we are. The flexible scheduling for the Thursday night football is hereby expanded to Thursdays. The flexible scheduling such that the clubs may be required to switch Sunday afternoon regular season games in weeks 13 to 17 only to approximately 8:15 p.m. on a Thursday and vice versa, so you can be flexed off of a Thursday if they think you suck, upon at least 28 days notice from the league office. So there has to be at least a month advance on that. I've also seen a thing where you can only play 2 Thursday night games in a season. However, the Lions are playing 3 Thursday night games this season because they have the opening night against Kansas City, and then they play Thursday night football against Green Bay in Green Bay, and then they also have Green Bay at home for Thanksgiving. So I'll be selling those tickets if anybody wants those, the Thanksgiving ones. $5,000 each. Got 4 of them. Probably not that much. I don't take personal checks either. So, sorry. Okay, finally, I want to talk about, all that crap you've pretty much heard before. If not, maybe I gave you a little bit of detail on each explanation of the rule. I know I was a little wacky with the onside kicks, but there was something with the receiving kicks that I was thinking about. I was like, man, how is that going to affect onside kicks? But maybe it wasn't that rule directly. So, anyway, I'm going to talk about 2 rule change proposals that I have, and I think you guys can get behind them. I think we can start a petition. I think we can get like 100,000 signatures on this petition. I think every fan in the NFL will be behind this first rule change. Are you ready? Here it comes. We should get rid of ties in football. That's right, ties. Not overtime, ties. If at the end of regulation, teams still have the same score, I believe they should go to a NHL style kickoff shootout. So, set the kickers up at the 30-yard line, kick a field goal, make it best out of 5, make it a consistent amount of kicks. I don't care, either one, but just do a kickoff style shootout with the kickers. The home team can have the advantage with the wind, without the wind, whatever. Do another coin toss. I don't care. Figure that part out. Just stop having ties. Ties are stupid. There needs to be a winner. Every time the kickers make it, say they both make it from the 30-yard line, they can kick back to back, so neither one of them are facing the same direction. That's where the home field advantage comes in. Maybe the wind comes into play, something like that. Your kicker kicks that 30-yarder, back them up another 5 yards, maybe 8 yards, maybe 10 yards. Keep backing them up. So, like I said, you can do a best out of 5. You can just do a kickoff until one misses. Have these kicks count towards their personal stats. I think this sets it up for 65-yard field goals. I think this sets it up. What if you have Justin Tucker kicking against, Koo, from Atlanta. And these guys are just kicking their balls off, literally. And now you might be setting up for a 70-yard field goal. Just keep going back further until there is a defined winner. Stop having ties. Ties are stupid. How exciting, how much more important could you make the kickers? Because the kickers are only important maybe once a game. So why not give them a huge spotlight, for the game-winning field goal? I think this would be exciting. I think it would be amazing. Nobody likes ties. Ties are stupid. So that way, when you look at the win-loss record, there it is. You know, ties are... Man, when I played football in 9th grade, I had a coach say ties are like kissing your cousin. And this is his analogy, not mine. But he was like, yeah, you're kissing a girl, but it's your cousin. So there's nothing cool about that, unless you're in different parts of the country, I guess. Anyways, that's my first rule change proposal. Get rid of the ties. Second rule change proposal. Are you ready for this? It's not as huge as the tie, but it is still good. And the Lions have been screwed by this, I believe, more than once, but once specifically. And you've heard it in the intro of this very show. If you're under 2 minutes and there is a booth review and the challenge does not work out for you, there should not be a 10-second runoff. There should not be. Nobody is asking for this review except the fans. The teams should not be punished because the refs decide to take another look. This drives me nuts. When a couple years ago, when we were playing against Atlanta, was it Golden Tate? He ended up falling short a little bit from the goal line where it was ruled not a touchdown. There was less than 10 seconds by rule of the game. The game is over. You hear it in the intro of this song. It was a horrible moment. A horrible moment. The Lions didn't ask for this review. Of course, I think it was initially ruled a touchdown or something like that. And they wanted another look at it because all scoring plays are reviewed. No matter why they reviewed it, there should not be a 10-second runoff if it is a booth review. Now, I understand if the coaches call for it, or injury timeout. If there's an injury, you're faking an injury, whatever, there should be a 10-second runoff. I agree with that. However, when it is a booth-induced, an official-induced review, stop giving us the 10-second runoff. It's not fair to either team. If I was the winning team from this, if I was the Falcons, yeah, you want the victory, but come on, man. I want to earn it. I want to feel good about my victory. I don't want to feel like I won a game due to some sort of clause in the rule book, and I don't like it. I don't like the 10-second runoff. It's the ties and the 10-second runoffs are the biggest problem I have with the NFL today. I don't really care about these other rule changes. I don't care that the players can wear 0 now. I don't care about the fair catch, and now everybody starts at the 25. If they're going to do that, eliminate kickoffs. If they're worried about safety, eliminate kickoffs. And just have everybody start at the 15 or the 20 or something like that, because that's what they used to do. You used to start at the 20, and I'm not even sure they've always started at the 20. I think before that it might have been like the 10 or the 15 yard. If you're taking kickoffs away or giving them the pass to the 25 yard line, just take kickoffs away. Give them a longer drive. That's all I have to say about the kickoff. See, I brought it back around. Other than that, I think that's it. Of course, don't forget, again, I will be taking the rest of the summer off. I know I've been hit or miss in this off season. I am the hangover. I am not the drink. So I'm way after the fact on a lot of this stuff, except the ties and the 10-second runoff. God, I hope you guys listen to this and we start a rally, we start a war, and we go petition the NFL offices. And we're like, yeah, no more ties, no more 10-second runoffs. I don't know what's taking them so long to figure this out. God, how exciting would that be? The kickoffs, the field goals. Like, oh, no, this kicker made 60-yard field goal. Oh, this kicker made a 60-yard field goal, too. Let's back them up 5 yards. Yeah, 65. They both made it. Now, every time in warm-ups, you always see the kicker. Sorry to come back to this. Every time in the warm-ups, you always see the kicker, or you always hear about the story about the kicker. He's just banging 70-yarders, 75-yarders. That's because there's no pressure on them. So put them in that situation. Don't even try and block it. Just let them do an untouched, kicking competition with the other kicker. That's all I'm saying. No other players need to be there. Just the guy holding the ball and the guy kicking the ball. That's it. Both teams, you make it, you back them up 5, 8, 10 yards, whatever you want to do. maybe just 10 yards in the beginning, so you go from 30 to 40, then you go 40 to 50, then 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 63, 63 to 66. Like, just keep going. Something like that. Some sort of increments. I get excited about that one, as you can tell. That one was off the top of my head. I mean, I've been thinking about it for like 8 months, but I'm tired of ties in the NFL. I hate ties. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for telling your friends about me. I can't wait to see you guys in the fall. I can't wait for you guys to be able to see me in the fall. I'm hoping to make some changes to the show to switch it up a little bit for season 2. So hopefully that happens. We'll see if I have enough time, though, to make those changes. I am a busy guy. I think that's it. All right. So thanks again for listening, and I will see you guys at the end of August, probably. I don't have an exact date, but then we will just kick off with those video episodes as well as the audio episodes. The audio will be the same as the video. It's not like one is better than the other, but sometimes you don't always have the chance to see me. Sometimes you don't always have the chance just to hear me. Sometimes you're sitting down with a nice bowl of chili on a nice fall day and you're like, I want to see Brad talk about the game that just happened. Well, that's where I come in. You flip it over to the Lions Hangover Podcast on YouTube channel and you give me a look and you're like, I like this week's Lions shirt. I like what this guy has to say about the Lions game. I like his opinions. So we always do post-game analysis and pre-game analysis for the upcoming week. That's what we do. Man, and I will take some cough syrup from now on, or cough drop. I don't know. Something about me just talking makes me want to cough, so I don't say too many words anymore. I can just feel it in my chest. Here comes another one. All right, enough. You guys don't want to hear this crap. Thanks for listening again. I will talk to you soon. This has been the Lions Hangover Podcast. Adios.